How's it going, everybody? Brett Mix here from Macho Wrestling 101. We had a decent show tonight. There were some good matches on it. I used the 5-star rating system for it. There's a few different matches that I rated, but we'll get to that. Some repetitive redundancy and some noteworthy segments. So let's get into the show. But before I start the episode, just want to remind you that my name is Brett Mix, and this is a new YouTube wrestling channel called Macho Wrestling 101. Please hit like and subscribe if you have not already. We dish out daily reviews of old stuff, new stuff. I think you'll like it if you're a wrestling fan. So let's get into the show. We started off Raw from 9/25/23 from a sold-out LA crowd. We start the show, and it's literally the same beginning we had the last 3 weeks. Either Cody or Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso, coming to the ring with the Judgment Day coming out. This is redundancy so much that Cody even put in his promo that he knew the Judgment Day would come out, and they did. And then there's just more teasing for the main event later in the night. Cody said into the camera's face, he said, "The Judgment Day is the most toxic thing in the industry." Well, toxic is an overused term today, but I wouldn't say that the Judgment Day is the most toxic thing in the industry. I think the creative could be the most toxic thing in the industry at certain times. With this redundancy, it certainly seems like it. I'd say the writers could be that way, but I'll give them a chance. I'm glad I did during this show, wrestling-wise anyway. The fans are booing Dominic Mysterio when he comes out with the Judgment Day, and I can't tell if they're booing him or if they're booing the creative that we're getting, because it's the same thing we've gotten 4 weeks in a row, as I already told you. See, I've repeated that 3 times, and that's annoying. Imagine watching Monday Night Raw 4 weeks in a row with the same opening. This is my 3rd review of Raw, by the way, when I've gone back to start watching to stay up to date with these Raws. I always stay up to date, but I didn't usually watch the episodes. But now that I'm reviewing them, I'm watching them, so I noticed the redundancy. Cody tells the crowd that they're booing Dom, so he clears that up for me. They're not booing creative, they're booing Dom, just like they do every time he comes out with a microphone. It got better when the brawling began, but you know that the writers are planning for a big Survivor Series, War Games, Elimination Chamber, whatever pay-per-view they have with teams coming up. You can tell the writers are building for that, so that's why there's slow storyline progression. But hey, you can't fault them for long-term booking. At least they're doing that. In the days with Retribution, they never did do that. So it is storyline progression in a way. So yeah, tonight we have Owens and Zayn against the Judgment Day again being the key phrase, but nonetheless, we'll see where that leads. We also have Dirty Dom versus Dragon Lee. That'll be good, and thankfully I was right, because I predicted that it would be good. Miz TV would be interesting with Drew, because he never sticks to one character. If he's a heel, what is he called? The Scottish psychopath. Tongue twister there. I was thinking of sociopathic, so I was like the Scottish psychopath. He always used to be like, "Hey Charlie, how you doing?" to the Charlie Caruso, even when he was a psychopath. So he never really fits a character, even though he's like a perfect pro wrestler build. He never stays on a character, and right now he's in the middle of being a tweener, so he's that way more than ever right now. We had a match between Otis and Bronson Reed. They mentioned that they were in catering. They were tired of it. No shit that they're in catering. Reed missed the Brodus splash, and then a running senton, and then a huge body press from the top, and what Cole calls a massive victory for Bronson Reed over Otis. Next, it's Ronnie is a weirdo. It's Becky Lynch. Talking about women stepping on each other's toes. Natalya comes up, as does Tony Stark, and they're both talking about who deserves what. Natalya says she after everything she deserves the world after everything she's put in. I'm on Natalya's side because I'm from Alberta, like she is in Canada, but it's hard to take Natalya serious when she goes away for a few months and then is jobbing on main event, and then she comes out of nowhere and wants a title match. It's really quite fictitious. It's good that Ciampa versus Kaiser, not Kaiser Soze. It would be more badass if it was Kaiser Soze. That's just a 90s reference to Usual Suspects film. You should watch that movie. If you haven't watched the movie, it's amazing. That has Kaiser Soze. But anyways, it's Ciampa and Kaiser here. I remember Ciampa for his greatness in NXT. Hope the WWE doesn't mess him up. He's got a future IC title shot against Gunther. That sounds good to me. That sounds like that's going to be a blast. Just like Shinsuke and Seth Rollins. As Seth Rollins came out and you got personal as they mentioned his daughter. Rollins cut a convincing promo, and the fact that it's going to be a last man standing match, I'm excited for this. You just know that's not getting less than 3 stars and 3/4, so it's not getting less than 3.75. You just know it's with the last man standing match. They already confirmed it. Pay-per-view, no commercials. Those two guys, heated feud, last man standing. There's no way it's getting less than 3.75. I can just tell right now. Natalya and Tegan Nox was a decent match, actually. They had some good chain wrestling, getting good counter wrestling, going from the armbar to the wrist lock, back to the armbar, into a side headlock, into a drop toe hold, then a turnaround front face lock, back into an armbar. That's some good chain wrestling, but it didn't get enough time, and it was just a simple match with the younger going over. Already mentioned Rollins and Nakamura. That was following that match, but I mentioned it before that. Once again, Ricochet cuts a horrible promo backstage. He's trying. They're Jackie Redmond. They must have told Jackie Redmond, because this is not her usual personality. The new interviewer, Jackie Redmond from Canada. I've watched her for 10 years on sports, NHL and baseball channels up here in Canada. She's not the Jackie Redmond that you see now. After that New Day segment when she was like dancing with them, they must have told her, you have to be a serious, straight-faced reporter, because that's how she acts now. Anyway, she interviewed Ricochet, and Ricochet, he tries to sound badass, but it's just contrived. He looks off into the distance and tries to make like a bad face. If you don't got it, you don't got it, and I think it's never gonna come to Ricochet. But they keep trying. Promo-wise, he's still good in the ring. Obviously, that's his bread and butter. They keep trying though. So Dragon Lee and Dominic Mysterio go to the ring. They exchange leapfrogs. They hit the senton moonsault from Dom to the floor. Then a DDT by Dom to Dragon Lee. Commercial break. Dom is now dominating after the commercial break, and Lee tried a frog splash and a mid-air drop kick to the corner by Dominic. Both men continue to go for his North American title. Dom hits a Michinoku driver and gets a near fall. Then a thrust kick, a series, but the Dragon Lee got back in control. They went into a war, chopping each other. Hurricane Rana off the apron to the floor by Mysterio. Lee then hits a powerbomb, another back in the ring, and a kick out. Another climax spot in the middle of the match where they go for a series of near falls, even though the match has only been 5 to 7 minutes long, and making all these false finishes seem like it's a classic, even though they did put on great shit. It's just the commercial break cut up so much of it. Dragon Lee does everything he can, but Mysterio hits a frog splash to retain in the TV time of 7 minutes, when it actually went probably 11 or 12 thanks to commercials. I give that, the way they moved, my little review there doesn't do it justice. I give that match 3.5 stars. That was a great match. They said Cole called it Dominic's best match. It might be. Like I say, I haven't seen too much from Dominic in the ring because I haven't watched. I just kept up with what's going on the last couple years. I haven't really watched it. I've seen parts of his run, but I've never seen all of it. But if they say that's his best match, I could believe it because it was good. So that's the first of a couple of other matches that were good tonight. We had Nia Jax come out, and it's the less we talk about Nia Jax, the better, as we could see from the Raw ratings a week or two ago. She says, "I'm the baddest," and Zoe Stark, the two went at it. Yeah, and I'm not going to talk about it. McIntyre and Kofi went at it though. Kofi and McIntyre. Kofi hits the trust fall off the top rope with a turnaround senton, and the fans chant "New Day rocks." Kofi hit the apron, hits a double axe handle for Drew on the outside. Then he gets him back in the ring, lateral press, near fall. Then the commercial break comes back, and when commercial break happens right early in the match, and then we come back and Drew McIntyre's in control. He kicks up. He hits a huge belly-to-belly suplex to Kofi Kingston twice, followed by a neck breaker. He kicks up and is feeling it. Drew used his technique and power with agility and aggression, says Boyd Barrett. Good line there on commentary. To say agility with aggression and technique and power to explain Drew McIntyre. That's a great way of explaining him. And then a Future Shock DDT by McIntyre. And I'm just wondering, did they give these moves names in NXT, like the Future Shock? Like, because I noticed they always put the future in entrance themes of guys that they want to be the future, like John Morrison, his entrance theme, it says "I am the future," and then Asuka's entrance theme, it goes "I am the future," and she's the Empress of Tomorrow, and it seems like she's always talking about the future. Then Drew McIntyre was in NXT, and then he has a Future Shock. Like, what the problem with that is they're the now, they're not the future when they're here. So are we still calling them future things? But maybe the Future Shock DDT has nothing to do with that, and I'm just ranting for nothing. Anyways, back to the match. Drew has Kofi upside down in the ring, and Kofi hits face first into the apron on the announce table. Oh yeah, Kofi's backwards and Drew has his legs, and then he swings him forward and Kofi hits head first on the apron. Nice spot there. Cole calls this a classic match, even though Kofi kicked out of that. It's still a good match. The crowd are calling it awesome. It's not really a classic when it's only halfway through. Ivor on the outsides hurts Woods, and Kofi finally realized it, but McIntyre hits a Claymore as Kofi's distracted. I give this match 3 stars. Second straight week that McIntyre doesn't help a babyface getting beat up. He walks to the back as the crowd boo. So he's probably not a full-fledged heel yet, but he's getting there. Ivor, the Raiders continue to pummel Kofi Kingston after the match. So far in the night, we have a 3.5-star match with Dom and Dragon Lee, and now a 3-star match with Kofi and Drew. Now we're going to the main event. Again, it's a redundant main event, but this one delivered a ton of action. Tons of stuff to go over here. I wrote a lot of stuff in my notes. But I'll just get to the point. McDonough came out to help the Judgment Day. Cody Rhodes hits a suicide dive on McDonough, who flies over the table. Chaos is everywhere as the officials are breaking up everybody. We've seen 2 commercial breaks by this point. Great tag team wrestling back and forth. Priest launched onto the table while he goes to beat Balor for the titles, but he kicked out after a frog splash. KO catches Balor with a rolling senton and hit him in the top turnbuckle. Cole talks about the building being sold out and how they're loving this match. It really did go back and forth. Owen hit a stunner, but then Priest threw him out, and Zayn catches him with a big kick to Priest. McDonough hit the briefcase at Sami Zayn behind the official, and now Priest covers Zayn to retain the titles. Overbooked ending, but still good. I give that 3 stars. So 3 matches above 3 stars on this Raw. That's why I give the overall rating a 6.5 out of 10. Again, my bar is really low, so it impressed me that they could have 3 3-star matches plus. Even though the show is redundant and nothing really grabbed you, I thought the Shinsuke Rollins promo was good. I like that they're trying something with Drew where he walks to the back. I like that Cody hinted maybe he's going to SmackDown. I give it a 6 out of 10. And then there was more brawling at the end of the match, and the officials tried to break them up. There was a chaotic ending like the Nitros used to end, just no Sting pointing with a bat. Anyway, that's your Raw review from 9/25/2023 from LA. I'm Brett Mix here from Kelowna, BC, Canada, and I'm here with you on 9/26/23 talking about the Raw review. We'll see you on Friday night SmackDown, and we'll see you tomorrow for all the old classic reviews I do. Please hit like and subscribe if you like them. For Raw, I'm Brett Mix, and I'm out. Thanks.